It's Kerrang, it's the night before. My name's Margerrison. Right, so, let's get our next guy onto the airwaves. Let me tell you who he is. His name's Richard Hall. That's who he is. He's been on the show before. His website is richplanet.net. You might remember him because last time we had him on the airwaves, there was a lot of love for the rich. A lot of the people listening to the show liked his contribution. People were emailing us, asking us to get him back on the air. And one of the things that marks him out is he is the guy who forced David Cameron to announce to the nation that if he becomes Prime Minister, he will disclose any truth he finds in the UFO extraterrestrial cover-up. Yeah, it's an incredible moment. Richard Hall stood up, asked him the question, and initially David Cameron kind of made a joke about it, and this is the bit that I love. Richard Hall wasn't having any of it. He said, hang on a minute, this is a serious question. So he literally pinned him down to the ground and got him to announce in front of the world's media that he would come clean were he to find out about a cover-up.
Will you seek to lift the veil of secrecy and tell the public the truth?
Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, I told you I didn't plant the questions. I'm convinced we have been visited by alien life forms, and one of them is the Trade Secretary, Peter Mandelson. But quite seriously, sir, no, because I'm going to give you a serious answer. I'm going to give you a serious answer.
I don't want anyone to take the subject.
No, I'm going to give you a serious answer now, honestly. No, look, I think I have no idea whether there is intelligent life out there, and no idea whether any sightings that have taken place or incidents that have taken place have any basis in truth. All I know is I do believe in freedom of information and openness, so I'd be quite happy to give you a guarantee that if I was Prime Minister, I would always be entirely open and frank about these things. Sorry about the jokes, I just couldn't resist them. It was too... I never get that question, so it was like, you know, a bit irresistible.
So let's get him on the airwaves, find out how that's going. Richard Hall, how's it going, man?
Hi, Nick. Thanks very much indeed for having me back.
So what are you up to at the moment? I understand you've written to Margaret Thatcher.
I certainly have. The David Cameron thing, as you said, it got quite a lot of publicity in the national press and what have you. Now, somebody said, well, my beef should not be with David Cameron because David Cameron is not informed on the issue. He said that your beef should be with those that are informed. Now, not long ago, I interviewed Timothy Good, who is arguably the world's leading UFO researcher. Now, he reliably informed me that the only British Prime Minister that has been informed on the subject of aliens and UFOs was Margaret Thatcher.
You're saying that Margaret Thatcher has been told the truth about extraterrestrials in official capacity, in your opinion?
Yes, and that allegedly came from her special relationship with Ronald Reagan.
Right, I want to point something out here. Ronald Reagan is the only American president to make major announcements regarding extraterrestrials. On more than one occasion, he spoke about the possibility of extraterrestrials, how it would affect politics on this planet, and he even admitted that he and Gorbachev were talking about it.
Absolutely. That was a very famous speech, I think, at the UN, when he said that, you know, the politics of the Earth would seem trivial if we came across an alien threat. And there's also the very famous remark that he made to Steven Spielberg at a private showing of E.T. when he turned to Spielberg and said, there are only 6 people in this room who know how true this is.
Wow, this is big. So, I mean, Reagan, he is what's known as, he was almost what would have been known as a disclosure president. That would have been the guy who comes out, and disclosure is when the government announced the truth about extraterrestrials, and everyone in the UFO community, myself included, wants that to happen as soon as possible. He's the closest thing we've really had. And is it a coincidence, Richard, do you think, that both he and Margaret Thatcher were affected by the terrible disease that is Alzheimer's?
I don't know. I mean, that would be an extremely difficult link to prove. But in my letter to Margaret Thatcher, I kind of said to her, look, you know, we all know that you've been told this. There was a book came out in 2000, I think, which the title of the book was You Can't Tell the People, which was comes from a quotation from Margaret Thatcher when she was asked about UFOs. She said, you must get your facts right and you can't tell the people. That was Georgina Brunei brought that book out in 2000. And I believe that the American military were warned about that book when it was published.
So she was asked, Margaret Thatcher herself has been asked about UFOs and extraterrestrials, and she said, you need to get your facts right, and you can't tell the people.
Absolutely. So the letter that I've written to her is kind of saying, look, you know, as a kind of parting shot, you know, before, you know, a legacy that you may want to leave the British people, people are crying out for disclosure. Many people believe that the UFO phenomenon, if it's disclosed, has the solution to the world's energy crisis, world peace, the economic crisis, that a lot of the secrets that are being kept holds the key, you know, answers to those questions, basically. And this is what I've said to Margaret Thatcher. Look, would you talk to me about this? I mean, it's a long shot. It's highly unlikely that she'll respond, but, you know, you have to try these things.
So when did you send this letter to Margaret Thatcher?
That was probably about 4 days ago.
Richard Hall, I want to thank you for joining us on the show. You've got to tell us when you get a response from Margaret Thatcher. The website, richplanet.net. I mean, we only scratched the surface here. You've got so much information in your head. I want to get you on the show again in the future. www.richplanet.net. Richard Hall on The Big Show. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Nick.